Today I want to come on here and make a little fall dessert with y'all that is going to be delicious, and I want to give a couple of my friends a shout out here on YouTube. They're like me, they love the Lord and they love to cook and they love to reach out to others and inspire others and spread joy, so why not give them a shout out, right? We actually collaborated and they're going to be giving me a little shout out, and we're hoping to just spread the good news to their friends and their friends to my friends, and so we'll all get on there together. The two girls' names are Pam and Marty. Pam lives in Kentucky, and her name of her channel is Pam's Cutting Board, and she's sweet. Her husband helps her with it. He was a minister for years and he is wheelchair bound now, but he still feels that calling to get out there and spread the good news and want to reach people, and so they prayed about this, and they've started this channel on YouTube, and I'm so happy for them, and I'm excited for their new little walk. I really am. I've spoken with Pam on the phone, and she's a southern girl like me. She's from Kentucky, so she has the Kentucky accent. She's so sweet, but her husband helps her with it, and so he's her little cameraman, and he'll get on there some too. So y'all check her out, please. And she's also going to be making a fall dessert, and she's going to be talking a little bit about me, so y'all might enjoy that a little bit. But I'm excited for y'all to make friends with her too. Very excited. And Marty, I have not spoken to, but she has been making cooking videos way longer than me, okay? So she's very seasoned at this and very worth checking out, and the name of her page is Southern Cooking with Marty, M-A-R-T-Y. And she's like me, she's branched out to YouTube, and we're trying to grow people on YouTube, an audience there, and so we're all getting together today and making a fall dessert and giving a shout out to one another. And I'm also going to link both of their YouTube channels in my description box too, so you can go to description box. And I want to talk about that for a minute, because some of you have missed the videos on that. But when you pull up on YouTube, you pull up, say, my video, you're going to see the title to my video just under that, and right out to the right side of the title you're going to see this down facing arrow, and you touch that with your finger. Now if you're watching on TV you can't, but if you're on a laptop or your phone you can. When you touch that, it opens my recipes up on the bottom, and it also opens up any links you want to share, like Pam's Cutting Board and Southern Cooking with Marty. So go to the description box to get this good fall dessert video and to get their links, and go check them out, because y'all are going to be very blessed. Hey y'all, I promised y'all a little dessert we would make together when we made this apple butter just the other day, so this is me making my promise good. And this is a real easy one. I've made this dessert before totally from scratch, but I'm trying to make it a little easier, because during the holidays we just get busier and busier and busier. I know, I agree with you 100%. We're going to start with a yellow cake mix, and I got a butter recipe cake mix. It's a 15.25 ounce box, and that's easy enough so far and quick, right? Yes, but don't be discouraged, because it's full of flavor. We are souping it up. Yes, we are. Into that we are going to put 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. A nice warm fall flavor, isn't it? Yes, it is. There we go. And 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, ground ginger. I know I tell y'all that all the time, but that's one of my little sister's names, so it seems funny when I'm saying we're putting some ginger in this cake, or some ground ginger. All right, Ginger, get out of there, Ginger. There we go. It just seems funny to me, because her name's Ginger. Ginger Michelle. All right, next we are going to put into here, first of all, what I want to do is kind of whisk this around. And I usually do it with my mixer, but I haven't even gotten my mixer out, so whisk that around so that way none of those spices are just clumped up together before we add our liquid ingredients. Let me grab my mixer, guys. I think I've got it all together, and I get started and I'm like, great, Amy, great. But y'all don't care. Y'all are sweet things, and y'all will let me grab my mixer real quick and my beaters. They're right here. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, normally as a time saver, if I'm gonna do a quick something, I don't get out my big mixer, and I won't put my hand on the trigger, okay, but I'll use like this just to whisk that around and kind of mix those up just like that. Okay, now we're going to add our wet ingredients, and that's going to, first thing it's going to be is a half a cup of apple cider. Y'all see I'm about to use all this up. I love it, plus I've been drinking on it. So we got 1/2 cup, and this is kind of in lieu of just the water you would do with the box cake mix. You know, that's adding no flavor, right? I know. So that's going to add us some good flavor. And then we're going to put 3 eggs, and I've got 3 fresh eggs from my girls out there. Right on in. And into that goes some of our star ingredient that we made together in that crock pot, was our overnight apple butter. Some of you have asked, like, and this is pretty spreadable for toast or jams, but y'all want it to be even more spreadable, so you just cook it a little while longer and let some more of that moisture cook out, okay? That's all you got to do. And that is 1 cup of apple butter. And if you don't have apple butter, you didn't make that with us, you could use applesauce, and you can use store-bought applesauce, okay? So don't let that discourage you either. I just like the apple butter because it sort of tastes caramelly, and that's why I like it. But you can do the apple sauce as well, or buy you some apple butter, right? I know. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I love to add a teaspoon of vanilla to any box cake mix I use, because it just seems to just wake all the flavors up in that cake. So I love to do that. That's my little box cake tip that I do. And then 1/3 cup of softened butter, which is about 5½ tablespoons of butter, okay? And it is unsalted. That way I know how much salt I'm putting into my cake, right? Okay, guys, I got my vanilla, my apple butter, my eggs, my apple cider, my ginger, cinnamon, and my box cake mix. That's it. Okay. Now, let me see if I can do this without making a terrible mess. So far, so good. I'm going to mix this for about 2 minutes on medium-low, and then I'll be back with y'all, okay? 60. 2 minutes. Let me see if I can clean this off without making a mess. Very, very good. Let's taste it, guys. Oh, hi. Yes, that's fantastic. Fantastic. And I wish y'all could smell this so much. It already smells like fall again. And the reason why I stress that on that little mixer, to have it on really low and not to, you don't want to put too much air into your cake mixes, because they'll rise real pretty, and then as they cool, they'll fall, and you'll be very disappointed, and I don't want you to be disappointed. My nice stand mixer actually has stir, and it has low and medium and high. That little thing I got for $9.99 at Walmart, and when you turn it on its first notch, it's ready to roll. It's like on high, so that's why I stress that, okay? Here's our beautiful cake batter. Isn't it gorgeous? I know, it's already fall colored. I'm going to set it right here for a second and get us, we're going to need 2 cupcake pans to make 24 altogether. And I got these sweet little orange and white striped cupcake baking cups at Walmart or Brookshire's. I don't know. If I see some cute ones, I just grab them up real quick. And I thought these were adorable, just adorable. I got that pan, and I've got another pan, and I've got a confession to make, guys. I've already made these once. And I wouldn't post it because when I make cupcakes up in the house, I use this scooper. It's a big scoop. And so when I was down in here just yesterday, I made some with y'all. I used this scoop. And I thought, well, those are the same size, because I know up in the house, this is perfect for one cupcake. So I scooped it out, and I didn't get but about, I think, 15 cupcakes altogether instead of 24. I was so disappointed. Well, I go on and I tell y'all a story, and John even comes in and he tastes them and he loves how they taste, but I don't have as many, and I was so disappointed. So I was editing on it last night, and I'm so hard-headed and so stubborn. I said, nope, I'm gonna make those cupcakes one more time, and I'm gonna use the right scooper. So I'm gonna tell y'all the size to use. This is a 1/4 cup scoop, or you can just use a 1/4 cup measure, you know, a little measure, and dip it up. I've done that for years before I had this scoop. And that one I got those at Sam's to serve potato salad at a wedding. And it's a 1/2 cup scooper, and I didn't even realize that coming down in here till after I had only cooked 15 cupcakes instead of 24. So I just felt like I was just wasn't going to be a good, perfect video. You know, I'm my own worst enemy. I know. Nobody cared if it was 15 or 24, but like I say, I'm my own worst enemy. And I bet a lot of y'all are just like that. So 1/4 cup scoop is going to be the perfect size cupcake for you to have 24. And I'm going to go on and play that at the end where John comes in, because he drives up right when I take them out of the oven and they're piping hot, and he tastes them and he loves the flavor of them. And plus I tell y'all a story, because fire trucks keep going back and forth that day out here in the country. And so y'all, I tell y'all, because one of our neighbors accidentally caught his woods on fire, which is, we're all connected out here. So one neighbor's on fire, we're all worried about it and praying about it and trying to help get it out. And we too have a fire story from our oldest son camping out with his friends. So if y'all want to hear one of my long drawn out stories, y'all just hang around to the end and y'all will see John. Okay, y'all, out of the oven. Mine went in there for 12 minutes, and in 12 minutes I put a toothpick all the way in the center and it came out clean. And don't go over that, because you want them to stay nice and moist. So that's why I didn't give y'all a time, because every oven is different, and plus we're going to be cooking at different degrees. So keep checking them, but I checked in 12 minutes and mine were done. So I'm going to let these cool for a few minutes here on the counter, and then in a few minutes I'm going to put them in the freezer for a bit and let them get real cold for me to decorate with y'all. Okay, y'all, we're going to make the frosting for these little cupcakes, and I've already changed the name of it to pumpkin cream cheese frosting. So before I change the name again, let's get started. Right? And it's so easy. Y'all are going to love this. It's just a store-bought container. This is a 16-ounce container. It's called Creamy Vanilla, and I love that. Remember to save these to put on top of those little bowls we got at the dollar store. That's your little prep bowls. I'm going to just put this in a bigger bowl, because we're going to whip this with our mixer. Yes, we are. Or mix it with our mixer, I guess. We're going to turn that mixer on in it. How about that? Okay, y'all. And into our vanilla frosting, we're going to add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. And mine's kind of softened. It's not really, really softened. I get down here in my canning kitchen, and I don't have a microwave to soften it, so I had to put it over a double boiler. Right, I had to get old-timey here. There we go. I don't have room in here for a microwave either. No, I don't. Alright, guys, so 4 ounces of cream cheese. So we're just souping this right up, and you could just buy the cream cheese frosting, but I really love real cream cheese in it. I like how that tastes a little better. And now we need 100% pure pumpkin, okay? Not pumpkin pie filling or whatever. So 100% pure pumpkin. And I've got some open from some other recipes we've been making. 1/3 cup. And it is chilled in the refrigerator. I just put it in that little canning jar just so I could have it for future recipes. This is getting very fall-like in it. I know it. And good. Fall-like and good. And to mimic some of the same flavors in our cupcakes, we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Make sure that's not my cayenne, right? Alright. There we go. And then 1/2 teaspoon of our ginger. I always flip that top and it's got that shaker on it. I'm like, no, we need more than that. There we go. Now then, oh my goodness, yes. Very warm. Fall flavors are very warm, aren't they? They sure are. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I do this anyway. If I'm just using some store-bought icing, I'll just put a teaspoon of vanilla in there anyway, even if I'm just going to use that store-bought frosting, and I'll stir it around in there. It just wakes it right up. And I want to mix this, since we've got that cream cheese and that pumpkin, with my electric mixer. I wash my beaters right here, so we'll put them back in here where they won't come flying out too. Sometimes it takes me a minute. There we go. Okay, y'all. Let me mix this up, and it doesn't matter if I get a little air in this, so I'm going to turn it on up, okay? All right, guys. Let's taste it. One's not overpowering the other. They're all just kind of coming together and make a real nice flavor. A fall flavor, yes. Okay, let's get this into a baggie. I have got some disposable baggies. I ordered these and they came seriously like 100 or so. I've had these for about 10 years and they're disposable. Before that, I had those that you had to wash out, you know. Oh my goodness. That was an ordeal. Just to clean up. But I've got me a star tip, and I'm going to do this. You don't have to do this. You could just put it in a Ziploc bag and snip the tip, you know, to pop your icing on, or just use a knife, you know, however you want to ice your cupcakes. But I want to try to make them pretty. This icing, I'm not sure if it's stiff enough, but it's sweet enough to me, adding those extras. I don't like overly sweet icing. But if you want it to be stiffer than this, you can add some powdered sugar. Just be careful, you're going to get it really sweet. So anyway, what I was going to tell you, the tip I'm using is a 199. 199 is my Wilton tip. Let me get this set up. But again, you can just use a Ziploc bag, okay? You don't have to do any more than that, or just use a knife. A butter knife or a dinner knife. There we go. Put my tip on. And something that we all find in the kitchen is that we need another set of hands and arms, don't we? Right? So if I need to load this up, and if you ever do and you don't know that, you can just put it in a big thing. This is a wide mouth jar, anything like that, and you've got an extra set of hands, and I love that. So I can sit here and load my icing in here, or my frosting. I always call it icing, but it's actually frosting. I know, somehow or another through the years we changed the name, right? Or I did. My country self did, I guess. That's pretty good. I'll raise that out of there. I might put just a little more than that. I just wanted to show y'all that other way of doing that. And then always raise your bag up, or your Ziploc, you can close it at this point, and just kind of give it a nice snug little twist so you've got some decorating room without it squeezing back out the top. And then I always like to go on and decorate just a little bit like that back into my bowl, so in case there's any air pockets in here, that gets that out of there too. I know I'm getting real technical for some cupcakes, right? Let me get those cupcakes and I'll meet y'all back. Alright guys, I've decorated a couple. I was going to show you how I do it. I'll start on the edge. Let's see, let me get where y'all can see. Start on the edge and just start piping it around in circular motion, just like that. And I give a little squirt right there in the middle. Did y'all see that? And I thought what was cute, y'all know I had bought this autumn mix in town, and it's got the candy corn and the little pumpkins, and so I thought I'd put a little pumpkin on top like that. And if you don't want to do a candy sweet pumpkin, you could keep it plain just like that, or some more chopped pecans like this. We could actually sprinkle a few chopped pecans here on top. That would look very autumn-like, wouldn't it? Yes. Just like that. And I think I'm going to do an assortment of plain and pecan-topped and then pumpkin-topped. That's what I think I'm going to do. Y'all, I don't know which one to take with me. Y'all gonna make these apple butter cupcakes with pumpkin cream cheese icing and enjoy them with your family this fall, okay? I'll see y'all later. Seriously, one of these is not going to make it to the party. I'm going to go share it with John. Which one? I think he looks good. Yes, he does. Bye-bye, y'all. I'm going to take this for my whole family. And I know those grandbabies, they're going to want more than one. Grandma, can I have another? Me. I got one set of grandbabies calling me Grandma, and then my youngest son's little baby girl, she's going to call me Mimi. And I thought, man, that's going to be confusing, but I have a best friend, Donna. Hey, Donna. Donna Kay. She's got grandbabies and great-grandbabies, and every one of them calls her something different. I loved it. When she told me that, I said, okay, it's going to be all right. I loved that. Alright, that's one pan down. I'm going to switch them out. Put them in the oven at the same time. I'm going to bake them maybe 12 or 15 minutes. Just till a toothpick comes out clean is what I'm going to do. Y'all, earlier today when I was baking with y'all with another recipe, the fire trucks went by, and I told y'all they're a volunteer fire department. And so... And you know, we live out in the woods, so by the time it gets to us, your fire's going, okay? So you better get out and get out of the way. I mean, we just can't help it, you know. All we got is volunteer people, and we all live out in the country. So it went by earlier today. See, I didn't get 24. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I don't know. I can't seem to make that happen every time. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But it's going to be all right. I see one that's really full. I might have to get a little out of him. Let me do that. Other than that, I'm just going to let them be too full. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, they came by earlier today, and I talked to y'all about it on a video. Well, then a little while later, like, I don't know, a couple of hours or so, they went back. Lights off, they're headed back home. Well, just a minute ago, here they came again with their sirens flashing again and headed back that direction. So it just reminds, you know, here in the woods, you think you got the fire all out, and it rears its ugly head back up, and here you got to go again. God bless them. I'm praying again for everything to work out okay for them, because that's a mess, and they're all volunteers. So God bless them, please, 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 please bless them. Anyway, guys, y'all get the idea. Let me slip these in the oven. I'm not going to waste my paper cups that I don't have. There we go. Now then, I better set my timer or I'll forget. I'm going to check them about 12 minutes, but I'll let y'all know how long mine went. My overstuffed cupcakes. Oh goodness, where's my timer? Alright, there we go. But yeah, we all live out here and we've all got timber, like we've got timber growing, and then our timber's up against other people's timber, you know, so it gets serious out here when a fire breaks out. I'm wondering what's going on, and they haven't come back by, so they're still fighting it. But it reminds me one time when our oldest son Blake, he was probably about 14, and I was that mama on Friday that I'd pick all the kids up at school that wanted to come home with Blake or Tyler when he got older, because that way I knew what those boys were up to for the weekend, you know. So it didn't matter if my house got trashed and dirty and I was having to feed kids, and we didn't have a lot of money then, so I would go to Johnny's Pizza and I'd pick up those party pizzas. I'd get a stack of them like that. They were $7.99 then, you know, so I could actually afford some. And I was working at the vet's office, so I'd leave there and pick them up with those pizzas, and I'd get the off-brand Coca-Colas, you know, because I couldn't even afford the real, the name brands. I was like Hank Hill. We were drinking off-brand. And so they would come to the house, and that way I knew where they were for the weekend, so I did not mind that. I was the house to come to, or we were, and I knew where my boys were and other people's boys, all the same, so that was a good thing to me. But they would stay outside. They wanted to camp out, you know. They didn't want to be in the house with us, and it would be cool fall weather like this, and they go on into the winter doing it. Well, John's daddy, he would bring anything and everything home. He was one of those people. And a lot of it we could use, you know. I mean, you wouldn't believe what John's used that he's brought home. So John's daddy had acquired at one time a UPS truck. Just the little delivery trucks, or, you know, those size, not a big long haul. So anyway, here this UPS truck was it was in the woods behind our house where John and I had put our double wide. And at some point, Blake asked could he and his friends camp out in it, because y'all, it's perfect. If you go in a UPS truck, it's all stainless steel on the inside, so it's clean, and it's got shelving, you know, just like bunk beds stacked on the wall where all the packages go, so it's perfect. And so they got out there and they cleaned the whole UPS truck out, and they had done this months before, and they were camping out in it weekend after weekend after weekend, and I didn't care because I knew right where they were, right in our backyard, which it was probably 300-400 feet, you know, past our double wide in the woods, in the edge of the woods. But so that explains our backyard to you. It was real pretty, let me tell you. Our race car shop was bigger than our double wide, so, you know, anyway, it is what it is. But they were camping out in it. Well, it was going to get cold, and they had been doing this for a couple of months, and a few weekends it was really cold. So I helped them. So this is much Mama's fault as anybody's. I helped them run extension cords all the way from our shop to 250, 300 feet, if not a little further, to that UPS truck. And then we plugged in a little electric heater. Yes, I am guilty. But I did to help keep these boys warm, and they had done it week after week, and everything was perfectly fine. Well, this particular weekend, they spent the night in it. It was about 5 or 6 boys, including our oldest son Blake, and they were in it. And early in the morning, about 6 or 6:30, one of the boys woke up, and he was the one that had not been spending the night. All the others had spent the night a million times over, and they were real comfortable in their surroundings, but this was his first night spending the night, so I bet he was a little more ill at ease. You know how you are. And he woke up and he heard popping. he heard pop, 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 and he thought, what is that? So he tried to wake some of the boys. He's like, what's that noise? What's that noise? And they said, oh, that's just rain hitting the roof, because you know they're in that tin or metal UPS truck. So they're like, go back to sleep, because it was like 6:30. Well, it kept popping and it kept popping, and it was hot, you know, so he got up and it was really hot in there, and so he decided he was going to investigate this popping and why it was so hot. So he opened the door, which is the very back of that UPS truck, and when he did, all the pine straw under the UPS truck was on fire. And so literally they were surrounded by a ring of fire. And what made it worse was John's daddy worked for Century Telephone for 46 years. And do you remember those computer paper? Those computers would shoot out that paper that did just like this over and over and over and would stack, you know, and it was way back, probably, I guess, the 80s when this was going on. Well, all that computer paper, when they upgraded and everything, they had just storages and storages of it. John's daddy said he'd take it and he wanted to go give it to, or he didn't want to give it, he wanted to sell it for paper. You know, you can take things in, trade them in, paper, metal. He would trade in telephones. I mean, so again, he's bringing stuff home. Well, one time he got John to load up this whole truckload and trailer load full of paper. He had called the day before and got the price of paper. They drove it all the way to Monroe, West Monroe area. They get there, well, paper had gone down that day. So John's daddy, if y'all know him, Mac, he was a stubborn soul, and he was so mad. It had only gone down a few cents, but he said, no, yesterday they told me that. They're not getting this paper today for a cheaper price. It's not going to happen. We're driving it back home. So, yes, I mean, y'all probably thinking like me. I'd be like, we've already wasted the gas. Let's take what we can get and go home with money. And I'm probably, nope, not John's daddy. So here they drive it all the way back home. My brother-in-law had gone with him, Keith, and he was laughing so hard he could hardly tell us the story. When they drove back up with all this paper, I was like, what's happening? And he could not hardly get it out to us. He was laughing so hard. But anyway, they had thrown all of that paper into that UPS truck. So when the boys were getting ready to camp in it, they put all that paper, they took it out and they just threw it under the UPS truck. And John had told them to do that. He didn't want it out getting blown around and rained on everything. He said, just chunk it under the UPS truck, you know, and I'll deal with it later. So it was thousands of pounds of these computer paper. So you can imagine the pine straw catches on fire from the extension cords that Mama has helped run out there. And when it gets to that UPS truck, well, it goes up there and just burns up the little heater. But the pine straw stays on fire and goes under that UPS truck and completely catches all of that computer paper on fire. They were literally in a kettle burning, these boys, 5 or 6 of them. And that one child, praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus, it was his first time and he wanted to investigate. So as soon as he opened that door and saw them inflamed, he turned around and said, we're on fire. And then, of course, then all the boys jumped up and they ran. Well, they couldn't get out because of the flames. So what they did, they were really smart, and I'm so thankful. But they used all their bedding and any mattresses they had in there, and they threw it out the door onto those flames, and they all ran out across that. And then Blake ran into the house to get John and me up. And he was trying to wake John up, and he kept saying, the UPS truck's on fire, the UPS truck's on fire. And if y'all know John, I have to start him a coffee IV to get him to wake up. I mean, he is in a coma when he's asleep. And some people are just that way, and they just can't wake right up. So he kept saying, he wouldn't wake up, and finally he said something like, son, just let the bookmobile burn. It's not for us to worry about. And I thought, no, he didn't say bookmobile. So by that time, Mama's awake, and I jumped up on the other side of the bed. I said, I'm on my way, Blake. So I ran, and thank goodness we loaded up our coffee pot the night before. So I just pushed the button, and I ran out the back door to make sure all those boys were out of it. And they were. I said, okay, all right. Well, meanwhile, this UPS truck was backed up into our timber, and our timber is against our neighbor's timber, you know, so I mean, this is bad. So again, you don't have time to call the fire department, and then they've got to wake up, then they've got to get to the truck. I mean, we're going to have hundreds of acres burned by then, so it was time for us just to hit the ground running. So I'm hollering to John, baby, you're going to have to wake up. You're going to have to. I got your coffee going. You're going to have to take it to go. We got to get out and fight fire. So I'm hollering at the boys. I said, Blake, get over to Mama Linda's, which was John's mom and daddy. I said, see how many water hoses she has and bring them. And I'm outside in my nightgown now, okay, and some boots. I had some cowboy boots at the back door, some nightgown and boots. So you can imagine what I look like. And we're grabbing rakes. I said, grab ice chests, anything that'll carry water, fill it up, and y'all run. You boys run and start putting it on that fire and come back. And meanwhile, Blake's on the four-wheeler. He gets more water hoses, and Mama Linda, John's mama, bless her soul, she's the type of person you say, I need all your water hoses. She said they're there, there, and there, and she never asked a question. That's how she is, though. So we fought fire all day long. From 7 o'clock in the morning or a little before, we fought fire until dark that night. And it's because it gets into those trees, and literally it'll get in the core of that tree, and you think you've gotten all the fire out. John, we had one bulldozer at the time. We had just begun our business. We had one piece of equipment, and thank God it was at home and not on a job. And John was going around pushing fire lanes, trying to get it, you know, to stop. And we had rakes, and we were raking pine straw back, and then it would jump. You know, from this fire, it would leap over there and get the pine straw, so we had to rake it back further. So we fought it all day, me and my nightgown. It singed all my bangs off, y'all, so my 5 head was showing pretty good. I mean, literally, it singed them off. We were so deep into that fire fighting it. And but all day long, and that's what's reminding me with these fire trucks. I know I told a long story to get back to it, but we would go inside and think everything's okay, but we knew to watch, because that's what trees do. And sure enough, that core fire would be in there, and finally it would rear its head, and then it'd start catching stuff on fire again. And so you've got to babysit a timber fire, you really do. And so that's why they've had to go back, is it's reared its head again. Y'all, it's time. It is time to check them just that fast. I need to find a toothpick. Where are my toothpicks? Here we go. Here we go. But anyway, I was very thankful at the end of the day that those boys survived. Can you imagine what would have happened otherwise? I'd have been calling mamas and squalling myself. That would have been bad. So I'm very thankful, Jesus, that he saved them in that UPS truck. And that was the last of the camping out in the UPS truck. Yes, it was. Y'all, John, he's got that perfect timing. Baby, I just took these out of the oven.
I could smell good food. That's what it was.
Could you really smell food when you drove up? No? I was going to say, I didn't think we piped out good smelling food. No. Come over here and show everybody you.
Hey, y'all.
Well,
we're going to have a sample here.
I know this is called, you know, the apple butter I made last night? Well, I put it in some cupcakes for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I know. And see, we even got a little cupcake that we can have. It doesn't have icing. I'm going to make some pumpkin. You can have a big one. It's for Halloween.
Okay.
You can when we have Halloween. Okay.
All right. That's better.
All right. We're going to take these to the kids. But anyway, I put that apple butter in there, so I really want us to sample these and see what we think.
Okay.
Which half you want? Okay.
Be good, baby.
Oh, it's a nice, mild fall flavor, isn't it, baby? I'll give you the rest of that. And I'm going to make pumpkin flavored frosting for them.
Oh, man. When we going to do that?
We're going to do that for Halloween.
You better keep him here.
Yeah, I got to get him out of here. I was just telling everybody the story when we fought fire for 3 days.
Oh my goodness.
When the boys got the UPS truck on fire, and I went on and told the story how your daddy brought all that paper home, and then he wouldn't sell it, and y'all had to bring it back
Yeah, they
on.
went down on the price.
Yeah. I told him that story.
It happened.
Yep, it did. All right, guys. We're going to cool these off, and I'll see y'all when we're making frosting.
Baby, you are gonna have to hide them from me.